Hi everybody, Jeff Simon for SocialFlight here at AirVenture 2024, and I'm taking you inside the hangar. If you can't get here to the show, or you're at the show and you just haven't had a chance to see some of these amazing companies, I'm going to take you in here on a tour to find out what's new, especially at some of our partners which have amazing cool things going on with a lot of new announcements. So I'm going to show you one now. Come with me, you're going to love this. One of the things that we've done this year is all of our partners have these flags that you can see. It identifies some of the best companies in general aviation and places to stop and see stuff. And I'm going to introduce you right now to Shane Woodson, Vice President of General Aviation for Avionics. Shane, I absolutely love the Avionics products. You guys are so innovative. We're building a ton of it into the Mustang. We're going to be adding something to the Bonanza now. Very, very cool things. Tell me what you've got that's new here at AirVenture.
Yeah, so what we've come here to AirVenture this year for is kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and show our customers and show the market what we're working on. Some of it we have already in works, like for instance the AVHSI and the APA, and those are already in certification, and we're just kind of waiting for the approval to come through on that. Now, what we'll show you here is actually product that is really in the development side. A few of them were things that were kind of a call to action. Jeff actually wrote an article with the AOPA, kind of a call to action to say, hey, you know, this compass that's in every airplane out there in the world is antiquated. What can be done with this? There's some new changes that are happening with the FAA, and so we actually took that to heart. And at the core of our company, radically innovating, is we looked at what can we do with this, and I think we've come up with some pretty cool stuff. We're here at the show, kind of looking around, listening to our customers, and like, is this something that makes sense? Is this something that you would be interested in? And so I had a very overwhelming positive response, as you can imagine.
I'll take you inside scoop on this one. So I did an article. You can go take a look and see it at AOPA. Just do a search, AOPA Jeff Simon. You'll see the article on compasses. And again, as you said, are they antiquated? What can happen? And it's sort of a call to action for the industry of making an electronic magnetic indicator. And within a week, Shane calls me and says, hey, I have something to show you. And you guys already, like a week from reading that article, had taken action, and now you've got something to show us here at the show.
Much more polished, yeah. So we're actually pretty excited what we have. And then the first product here is the AV-MDI, magnetic direction indicator. And so what this does is this uses a couple familiar platforms. Now this would be a brand new product. It is in development. It's not certified or anything yet. It's not available for sale, but what we are looking at doing on this is kind of, again, gauging the interest, seeing exactly how it fits in, listening to pilots, listening to the industry, because as he said, you know, you go out and look at these $500,000 planes and they've got this liquid compass up there in the panel with the deviation card, and shouldn't it be more modern, and it be more updated?
There's errors with it. We learn, you know, accelerate north, decelerate south, swings of the compass, all these things that you have to deal with. You've got issues calibrating them. You've got maintenance costs of having to deal with it when the fluid goes low. You've got maintenance costs of getting out there and aligning it. Now, show me a couple of the screens that we have on here, because it's also
this
very
is the
cool.
MDI, again, magnetic direction indicator. It's actually magnetometer driven. You have multiple screens, and so this is actually on a 360 rows, and you can actually go to more of just a traditional, you know, compass. It does actually give you with the screen view, and then also you have the 180 degrees. So if you needed to do a return, you've got immediately, you don't have to do the math and say, hey, what's my degrees back?
Oh, I love that. I love that it's got that, like, this is your 180 right below it, because you don't have to calculate it.
That's correct. It also gives you a slip ball, because there's a couple different scenarios. Obviously, this is a compass that's there for basic navigation, but in the event of some kind of an outage, now you can fly coordinated. You've got your compass in there, and you've got there. Additionally, as I hit another screen, I can come over here. Now this one gives you, there's two screens on here. One is your kind of card compass. The other one is, so you're looking at it, and if you end up having to turn right for the compass to go left. But the other screen that you'll see on here is actually where you're put yourself at the center of that compass looking out. And now, if you need to turn right, you turn right, so it's not reversing. Now, there is a numerical heading, so if you just want to look at a heading on there, you can just look at that compass reading. Sneak peek here, you'll see a little bug there. So what that does, if I go back over here, I can change that heading bug by 1 degree up and down. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Let me get you over there. So you can change that heading. And if I go back over here on this screen, I'll just use
compass with a heading bug.
It does. So right here, if I snap this, you'll see the buttons down here. I can snap this, and now it sets that as a heading. Now,
and the color green.
The color green. You saw the screen go to green. Now, once I actually take and shift over past 5 degrees, that's its threshold, you'll see that instrument drop off.
Goes to white again.
You're off heading, for a navigation. You'll see the heading bug down here, the little magenta tick. And as you come back, it's in line. Now you can, on that other page I showed you, where you can actually go in and you can change that heading 1 degree at a time, you can actually change it on these screens 5 degrees at a time. So you kind of have a macro adjust and a micro adjust.
That's awesome.
So that's the magnetic, direction indicator that we've come up with. We think there's some really cool applications. We're excited about it.
I want it now.
That's been generally the consensus of people we talk to. They're like, I've never seen anything like it.
I want it now. Absolutely.
So I think we'll see some awesome things. The other, additionally,
now you've got some more things here.
Yeah. So the other one we have here is the HFR. And so this is really your VHF receiver. Think of as it's
VOR and ILS.
That's correct. Yes, sir. So you can actually go in here. It turns your AV. You'd be having with this module, just like what you see here. You would have a module that would connect to the AV30, and then that HFR, that VHF receiver. So you can actually then do your comm radio. It doesn't do comm radio. I'm sorry.
But your nav,
but it does
so you've got
nav.
your VOR, you localize your ILS.
That's correct. And it has the capability, so when you go into it here, you can change that heading, or I'm sorry, you change that frequency.
Right,
when you hit it, it goes to the next, kind of like the push-pull buttons when you change the two sets of it. And then you can swap it into the standby and put it into standby. So then you've got a
that's so cool.
Capability.
What I like about that so much is that we're concerned these days about things like GPS jamming, GPS denied environments. It happens. There's GPS interference. It happens where we get so comfortable with it that it can go away. And yet in a normal situation, you might have 2 AV30s and you're using it for that normal operation. And yet when needed, you could switch it right over.
That's right.
And start using it now for your nav radios. Fly and approach, do whatever you need to do.
Correct.
Or switch it back if you're doing practice approaches or you're doing practice, currency for being able to do that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's the other piece of it. And then the other one we'll move over here. It is actually night sensor. So one thing as pilots that we're always concerned about, night flying is some of the most amazing flying. It's calm, it's cool, it's beautiful to fly. Is night sensor, what it is it's actually it's a high sensitivity night vision camera. So if you're flying at night, it's Wi-Fi, so it comes back to either an iPad or could actually even take and feed into like an AV30 screen. So what this does is you'll be able to see on the screen here, you'll actually end up seeing some capability of unaided view versus the aided view, and at that point, at kind of starlight, you're really getting high visibility on the ground. Imagine the times you're flying at night, and
Yeah.
as I was trained, one of the biggest things, you're always looking for a place for an emergency landing. Well, at a pitch dark twilight night, that's the old adage, if you get down low enough, turn your landing light on. If you don't like what you see, turn it off. Well, with the night sensor, you can very clearly pick out, nice places to land. That's going to give you a lot better, survival rate, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, we're pretty passionate about it. You'll also see on some videos where it actually takes and shows you some computer vision where we can actually highlight the runways. We can actually, tell how long the runway is, because runway stripes are mostly standard. So we can give you some of that navigation, computer-driven navigation, direction, length,
identifying
highlights.
the runway, details about it, obstacles, the deer on the runway, the truck on the runway, like all sorts of opportunities.
Yeah, and in the demo video, you'll actually see like a bird fly across or an animal across the runway, and so those things are highlighted on screens, and it really has a capability of almost becoming a night vision, HUD, if you will, because you can pick those things out. It's
that's crazy.
Very cool, and in a very small package as well. So as we all know, with the success of Sky Beacon and Sky Sensor, which is our Editor's Choice Awards this year, power's already out there on the wingtip. So if we remove that nav light, put this in, we have power accessible. Now we've got a quick and easy install.
Fantastic. Well, so if you are here at the show, be sure to stop by Avionics, Hangar C. It is just they have so much to show, and there's the really cool stuff that's been out there that you can buy today, and then push them for these products, because these 3 products, I'm telling you, I would install these 3 products today without even thinking twice. What a great idea! Lightweight radio navigation. MDI, get rid of that compass, not worry about it. Don't even worry about if you've got metal or other things on there, because you're going to be sensing it from a version of your AV mag.
That's right.
That can go out on the wingtip or wherever you want to put it. So many things going on, and I'm just impressed.
You free up that glare shield if you don't have to have it sitting up there in that big bulky, compass sitting up there if you go with something along those lines. And so
exactly. Now you can see, if you don't like what you see, get the night sensor.
You got it. Hey, and Jeff, I just want to say thank you for all you do for this industry, bringing these things to light, bringing call to action for advancing what a compass can be. It's just I think the aviation industry has an invaluable resource with what you do for vendors, for pilots, the aviation community, and just advancing safety. So I just want to say thank you so much for everything.
That means a lot to me. So thank you, and we're here to support general aviation, and that is very, very much what Avionics does. All right, have a great show.
Thank you. Have an awesome Oshkosh 2024. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, well, we're going to continue our tour now through Hangar C, so follow along. We'll see some other cool things here. We're going to take you, turn around and see if I can not hit someone, but I want to take you to another one of my favorite partners here and favorite companies that I use and have used for years and years. Let's go find them. Now that's a pretty engine. Here we are at Avenine. Hey there. We'll get Tom Free here. Tom,
Hey,
how are you doing?
great. How you doing, Jeff?
Tom Harper at Avidyne, one of my favorite people on the planet, I will say, to say the least, lives up in my neck of the woods in New England. And we've been in the industry for a long time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's walk over here and take a look at this. Tom, I want to tell you about a flight I took recently. We were coming back from North Carolina and in the Bonanza, flying up, and some weather moved in that was coming over the New York area and over the coast. And I'll tell you, things got dicey very, very quickly with, it was IFR the whole way, and they weren't expecting the weather to move as quickly. So we kept getting reroutings to our IFR flight plan over and over again. And in New York airspace, right, you're boom, 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 boom. In all sincerity, I don't think I could have kept up with things if I had not had the 550, because I was putting in those clearances. Some of them I was putting in using the keyboard. Some of them I was putting in at other times using the dials. And there was just so many ways that I could update my system in a very high stress environment. It mattered. It mattered a lot. And to have that plus the weather and everything available right there, that made a huge difference to our safety. And so I just want to thank you guys for everything that you do to make that possible.
Well, that's really what we focus on, is ease of use and making it easier for the pilot to enter flight plans and edit flight plans on the fly. Like you said, if you get a clearance, no sooner than you get the wheels up, they're going to give you an amended clearance, and now all of a sudden, in a high workload environment, you're able to make those changes. So
tell me what's going on here. In fact, I'm going to switch over to the other side so I'm not in the way. Here, actually, come over here with me.
Okay.
So that way you can talk and we can see your beautiful avionics.
What we're showing here, of course, is the Vantage 12. We've been working on this for a while, but it's nearing certification. This is a large 12-inch glass replacement for the Cirrus aircraft. It features, again, 12-inch glass, touchscreen, really snappy, synthetic vision.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's the speed.
Yeah.
Like there's no lag.
Yeah, there's no lag. Got a lot of horsepower there in terms of overhead for future growth as well. So we can.
Wow. That's awesome.
And one of the things we do is we have what we call hybrid touch. So we can do everything on touch, or we can also use knobs and buttons. The best example is I can pinch zoom, or I can zoom in with the knob. So if you're in turbulence, it's nice to have a knob to hang on to.
It is.
Yeah, you know.
And I think if you don't fly behind an Avidyne today, two things you should know. One is that these buttons, what makes them so awesome is that they're not just push buttons, they're rockers also. You push, you rock them left and right. There's so many different ways to control things. That's what you said with hybrid touch. That seems to be one of the biggest things you've done, is there's more ways to interface with your systems than you can imagine, whether it's from an iPad, from the keyboard that I use on the yoke.
Yep.
I love that keyboard. I've been using it, for frequencies.
Yeah.
Because it's so quick on the keyboard, you can just type it, hit comm, and just like whatever frequency you want, it just goes in.
And the leading one is implied, so you don't have to the extra keystroke either.
Boom.
Yeah. So as you're mentioning, because they're two-way rockers, I can move through each of the tabs, going left and right, but I can also reach up and just touch the tab and jump in. So that allows you to get to any page in 1 or 2 clicks.
I love that.
Any page. There's no nested menus where you're drilling down.
Yeah.
And that's the same UI you have on your IFD. It behaves exactly the same. So now you've got the continuity across the whole flight deck.
It's awesome. And like we were saying, you brought up the flight plan page here, and this shows, it's so graphical of what each of the blocks does, that if all of a sudden something, they say you don't have to do it, you just highlight something, clear it out, delete it, and now that's how I was managing my clearance.
And it gives it to you in plain English. Fly course 288 to FF27, fly the course to destination on the mist. It just tells you exactly what to do all the way through to the hold. So it always tells you what to do and how to do it. So
well, I think it is one of the rare examples in aviation technology that you're putting all this capability in front of a pilot, and it actually makes things easier instead of having more to learn. Because there's other systems. I have to tell you, I've used a lot of different avionics systems, especially for navigation. I don't find those intuitive. and yours I just get. It just makes sense. And like I said, thank you, because you helped in a very high stress environment.
Well, that's good to hear. And we've
Excellent.
heard a lot from customers who come in and tell us they love the product. And this is for the Cirrus, but the IFD 5 series and 4 series can go in pretty much any airplane.
Excellent.
So we can bring that same technology to the rest of the flying community.
Yeah. And these are getting very close to certification.
On the big glass, they should be done hopefully by the end of the year, but we'll see.
Fantastic.
All right.
Excellent. Is there any pricing yet for any of the products? Or
Yeah, on the IFDs, on the Advantage is like $33,000 for the set of displays.
for a complete new glass panel.
New glass
That's not
panel
bad.
with SynViz and the whole bit. When you get the whole package, it rolls up. It's
Well, it
$30,000
depends
to
what level.
$40,000 less than any competing system. So
Yeah, and of course there's different levels of these. I mean, you've got the 440 on the 5 series. You can do the 540, or if you want this to have an AHRS built in, which we're doing on both the Mustang and in the Bonanza,
Yep.
then you've got the 550, which makes a big difference.
you get the attitudes with the egocentric synthetic vision.
Excellent. All right, well, Tom, thank you so much. This is
Pleasure.
great. I appreciate
Thanks for coming
everything
by,
that you're
Jeff.
doing.
Good to
I
see you.
appreciate that. We've got our flag up here. We're sending people here. Another partner to come see at AirVenture 2024. Absolutely. Hangar C, you got it. Let's continue. Thanks, man.
bet.
Take care. Okay, you know what? Let's go around this way through the booth with all this cool stuff going on, because there's a presentation going on this way. This is another company I absolutely love, McFarlane Aviation. Let's go see if we can get Dave.
This is an old aircraft rebuilder, friend of mine.
Yeah, well, Dave, I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you.
Okay.
It was nice to meet you, too.
Yeah,
All right,
you
thank
bet.
you. Uh-huh.
Hey, everybody. This is Dave McFarlane. Dave McFarlane is the McFarlane of McFarlane Aviation.
Well, we got a lot of sub McFarlanes now, and we try to get more young talent, involved in what we do, so it continues on. That's our objective at this point.
One of the things that I'm so impressed by your company with is that you are always looking for problems to solve in general aviation. Every time I open up an email from your company or look at your website, there's a new part that you have found is not available or not made well or too expensive for Cessnas or for Beechcraft or for anything. And all of a sudden you guys are like, we can do that. We can make that better. And so I know that you sell all sorts of aftermarket parts, but your PMA parts, tell me a little bit about the story of how you keep coming up with those.
It's kind of a continuing process. In the early days, it's pretty easy. Is when our customers told us, say, hey, this is way too much money for them, and they're not lasting well. And we were repairing aircraft, we're doing annual inspections, and we just hated to have our customers come back in 2 years and we had to replace the same parts that we just put on, they had to pay for. And so he says, hey, we can do this better, and so we've done research on new materials and new processes, to make the parts last longer, redesigned a few things. A lot of the design work on the old airplanes dates back to the 40s and 50s, and the materials have improved over the years, and we could change our manufacturing process. So with CNC machining, plastic printing, and all sorts of new manufacturing processes, it's able for us to keep the cost down and support the volume change. Back when there were many airplanes built per year, you could use volume type manufacturing processes, and to support the aftermarket that needs a few parts every year to maintain the fleet. You got to make them a little bit different processes to keep the cost down. And that was one of our big challenges, was to come up with an appropriate manufacturing process for the quantity. And the OEMs tried to do a good job, but their focus is on new product, making the airplanes better, improving the airplanes, and they just don't have the resources to go back and improve the old parts so that they can last longer. They will if it's a safety issue, but they do the best they can, and we try to fill in where they leave off and come in there and pick up and focus only on the parts for them.
Yeah.
So that you can do it a little better when that is your main focus.
Yep. Well, you do an excellent, excellent job of it. We've got McFarland parts on the Bonanza. We've got McFarland parts on the Mustang. You've done some custom work for us with all your CNC work. And I would advise everybody, go check out the website, see what is there at McFarland Aviation. Because before you go and buy an OEM part, a lot of these PMA parts are made better, stronger, thicker components. It just makes sense. So you're not going to be doing the labor again, because labor is such a challenge right now in the industry. You need to get the highest quality parts you can. The other thing I really love, of course, are your control cables, innovative with the vernier assist and just replacements, whether it be cables or engine controls. Everything's there, and they're always higher quality.
Yeah, that's what we shoot for, and we're adding a lot of resources to our process by buying companies, where the owners have done the similar things to what we do, come up with really good designs, improvement, manufacturing process improvement, and they're up to the age of retirement, and we'll pick up their company, add the product to ours, and market them so people have good access to the product, and sort through try to find the best companies out there for that. And we've added PMA fabricators out of North Carolina. We've added Airforms out of Alaska.
Oh,
that
for baffling.
Makes our baffling. And we got Kelsey over here in the other booth that she designs. Every year she's coming up with more and more baffling kits,
That's
that
awesome.
fit more people's airplanes. And then, of course, a lot of our strategy is to take bright young people and teach them what we do, so we can maintain the momentum and perpetuate the continuation of what we do. And so improving aviation parts and the life of these airplanes will continue on to the future.
Excellent.
And at this part of my life, that's my main goal, to help other people do the same thing.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job of that. And again, I appreciate everything you do, the quality of your work, and certainly, of course, helping to support general aviation through SocialFlight as well.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Glad
Dave.
you guys come by.
You got it. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Let's keep our tour going.
Found it.
Just a quick shout out here for EarthX batteries. We'll come over to this section here. EarthX batteries are the lithium batteries that are available not just for experimental aircraft, but also for certified aircraft. We've got 2 of them in the Mustang that do our primary and our backups, and so that's really cool. And now they're working on expanding their certification list for their going into certified aircraft, and that's going to make it possible to do it for pretty much anything that's out there. So stop in and talk to them as well, because you can see if it's available for your aircraft, you can increase your useful load, get more starting power. It's some very, very cool stuff. Put such a smile on my face to walk through these hangars. It's just, this is the energy of general aviation. Oh, we've got our friends here at Tempest Aero. Hey, Vince.
Hey,
how are you doing?
It's great to see you guys.
Nice seeing you. Man, things are booming everywhere we go, and that is certainly true of Tempest Aero. You guys, you keep adding products and doing more. Tell me what's going on with fuel pumps and air filters. Tell me what's happening.
Well, first, it's great to be here at AirVenture. I mean, what, day 3?
Yeah. Oh my God, is it already day 3?
It's day 3 already, and man, what a great show! It's been busy every day, and love seeing friends, love seeing new friends or making new friends, and so it's been a great show. But yeah, I mean, we're continuing to advance and make new products, and we've gotten into the induction air filters, as you know, but we're pushing out and expanding that line, and matter of fact, we just got in a new filter for Van's aircraft for their induction air filter. So that's been a new, and then we continue to work on the fluid pumps.
Oh,
So that's been a big deal for us recently. Facet got out of that market or that space.
stranded a lot of people.
Stranded
right?
a lot of people, and as you know, I mean, GA is our business. We don't get into other parts of aviation. Our heart and soul is in GA, and this was an opportunity to come in and help not only our friends but our customers.
Yeah, and I mean, I came up through Grumman's, that was the aircraft, and they had that facet pump in there. And I can only imagine, I love that aircraft. If I still had that aircraft and then you couldn't get a facet pump, that would be really stressful. And the idea that you guys said, we're going to fill that gap, is really, that's wonderful.
Well, and I think, that's how we started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we started off with early on with magneto piece parts and dry air pumps. I remember being at this booth, and it was a just small 10-foot booth, but everything we do has always been about the GA market and the GA customer, and this was just another opportunity to continue to serve this market.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody appreciates it. I certainly do. Every time we use your products, I find that the spark plugs are incredibly reliable. Your oil filters, like everything's always been available, even through the most difficult times of supply chain. And you're there for your customers. I've seen people come here to the booth, and if there's any doubt about anything, you're like, nope, we just take care of it. We take care of our customers.
That's right. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Our number one goal is to make quality or products. But number two is that there's times where things don't go as planned, and you want to have customer service there to make sure you're taking care of your customer and do the right thing, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, there's also tools, of course. If you go on the Tempest Aero website, they've got the tools that will help you check your spark plug resistance, some tools to help you with oil changes, things like that. So a bunch of different things, even as you've got it here, the spark plug tray. So if you, not only do you need the products for your aircraft, but get the tools so that you can do it right, and it just helps.
It's the tools are a great accessory onto the products, right? I mean, I think that's what's cool about us is a lot of our employees are pilots themselves. They're AMPs, and so they're using this stuff, and they say, hey, this is a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how we come out with some of these little tools and things like the oil filter drain tool and the torque wrench and the AT5K tester. These are things we're using in the shop ourselves.
Yeah, so we're going to do a lot more education from Tempest Aero. There are some that are already there on the site. So if you go to SocialFlight.com or use the SocialFlight free mobile apps, they've got our FAA Learning Center where you can learn more about how to maintain spark plugs, things like that, which are really important. And if you're an IA, if you're an AMP with an IA, then you can actually get your recurring education just by watching those courses, because you guys do a ton to support education through the industry.
We do. I spend a lot of time on supporting and trying to educate and make sure that people are always up to date with all of the products and all of our affiliate brands, because things change. It doesn't matter how long or the legacy product is, things change. And we're always constantly trying to update and make things and improve things and make them better.
Yeah, I also want to thank you because the new oil, we talked about the air filters, the new air filter that you came out with, well, that ends the airworthiness directive on those old paper filters.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, high quality, and then no more airworthiness directives. So it's all good.
It's all good.
All right, well, I hope you have a wonderful show. You look packed here. I'm going to let you get back to your customers, but it's just good to see you and good to see how healthy and thriving general aviation is.
Hey, it's great to see SocialFlight, and thanks for stopping by.
You got it. Have a good one, Vince.
Yep, take care.
All right. Well, do a little bit more through here, and I just want to show everyone, these are the flags to look for here on my left. You look through here. We're going to be driving around the show. Anyone that's got one of these partner flags up here, you know that they're supporting general aviation. They help us keep all of this available to you and to provide education and so much more. And so I hope you're here at AirVenture 2024, but if you're not, I hope that this gave you a little bit of a sneak peek or a chance to experience it for yourself. And I wish you all blue skies.